I sure dropped the ball in that last vid. You have to check your sources. Rookie journalist mistake. Funny thing is that Friday, Jose Campos did make the news. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the commentary. Hey family, Kelly here to publish my testament into the ether.
What I really want is what I'm interested in is just what happened that night, a timeline. Yeah. I'm just going to let you talk and then I'll interject occasionally with questions, but go ahead. Tell us what happened.
Absolutely. So my husband and I were just driving back from Palm Springs. We had been there for a few days and we stayed at the Bellagio numerous times and we thought, okay, let's just go to the Bellagio. We know where to eat. We like it. We thought we'd still have time at the pool, that kind of thing. Friends of ours were at, I got to take this out while that way I don't hear myself echo.
No, it's fine. That's fine.
Okay. So friends of ours were at the festival and she was like, hey, you're here. And I said, yeah, they invited us to come over because they actually had left the festival to go and shower and they were going to go back again. And I said, no, we're going to go have dinner with my husband's family. So we were going to meet out afterwards because they were going to go downtown and go ziplining. And so we said, okay, well, we'll get back here around 9:30 or 10. And they said that was perfect because they thought they'd be over to the Bellagio around 10:30. Mm-hmm. And probably right around 10:30. So we said, okay, so we did. We got back there about 9:30, 9:45. And my husband and I love the Petrosian Lounge with the piano bar and everything. We know a couple of the piano players there. And we walked right in, sat right down, started talking with the cocktail waitress. She'd worked there for like 13 years. So we're sitting there talking. And I was texting my friend who was at the festival, who I'd been chatting with all day long. And she wasn't answering. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just loud and she'll look at her phone. So we're sitting there, like 10:30, 10:45. And I'm like, well, this isn't normal because normally she's known me for years and years. She's not like a flake, I guess you could say. So about 11 o'clock, I told Daniel, I'm like, well, I know that they're going ziplining downtown and I know they had already gotten their tickets. So let's just get a drink and then because we were just sitting there. We didn't know if they were going to come walking in and we were just all going to leave.
So, and this was 11 o'clock p.m.
11 o'clock. So, because I was just drinking water prior to that. We hadn't drank. And like I said, we were with his family and everything and the kids. So we went to order a drink. And then all of a sudden, this huge crowd, I can't even explain it. Just a stampede came rushing through the doors. The block things that you stand at the front, the red ropes, were all people weren't running around them. They were running over them. And we heard the gunfire. And the best that I can describe it, Tracy, is the fact that it was like if you take a board and you drop it on the floor, and it was like just this pop, 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 like that. And it was automatic. And I didn't know what kind of gunfire until my husband told me afterwards. And because I've never heard anything like that. And all I thought was, dear Lord, what? My husband literally takes me and puts me down underneath the table, which I showed in the video. This other lady was laying head to head with me and she's crying. And she I guess, had jumped over the cement pillars and she's crying. I don't know where my son is. And I was like, that's okay. I said, just hold on. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. And I just started praying. And I was like, Lord, just please cover us, cover my husband, covering us. I didn't even know what to do. I just wanted her to hear that we were still talking. And then all of a sudden it just got quiet. I felt my husband kind of lift up off of me a little bit. And people kind of looked up. Then all of a sudden security came in and they're like, go, everybody back. And we got up and everybody ran into the bar because we were sitting right out in front where the piano is. Everybody ran in, and then there was a long hallway I never even knew was there. And my husband stayed out there making sure that everybody was getting back safely. I lost my husband and I'm yelling, "Where's my husband? Where's my husband?" He's making sure that everybody's getting through because he's a retired Marine and that's just what they do.
Yeah.
And so he was able to catch up with me in the back corridor. I didn't know where I was. And people, once we got back there, kind of started scattering because all we knew is we wanted to get off of that floor.
Okay.
You just saw a clip of the exclusive interview of Renee Downs, who recorded inside the Bellagio and had quite the story to tell there. You can find more of this at Tracy Bean's YouTube channel. Let's go to crowdsource the truth at pscp.tv, interviewing more people from that night.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Laura Loomer, I'm an investigative journalist, and with me here today is another investigative journalist, Jason Goodman. We are live streaming an interview here on the ground in Las Vegas with two eyewitnesses who were at the Route 91 concert during the Las Vegas shooting. And they saw everything that took place, they heard the gunfire, and they ran for their lives. And they're here with me today to tell their story because, you know, we've been receiving this narrative from law enforcement and the media that there was only one shooter and that, you know, they're sure that there weren't multiple shooters. But witnesses on the ground have been contacting me since I've been in Las Vegas with, you know, video evidence that suggests multiple shooters with their own testimony. And I wanted to interview Stephanie and Anthony here today because they want to tell their story and they don't feel like the mainstream media is listening to them. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for having
Thank you.
me.
So tell me, and just tell the viewers watching, what happened the night? Take us step by step. What happened when you were at this concert, Route 91?
Okay, well, I'll start from where I remember when the shots started. Everything started from me when I heard one single loud bang right behind me, and I was in the VIP suites, so was Anthony.
Okay.
And this is a single loud, huge bang right behind me, and I turn around and look, and I see that someone has fallen, and the group of people that were with this person is helping her up or trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm observing this as well, you know, and then maybe 40 seconds later, some shooting goes off on the crowd, and that's when it was like automatic gunfire, completely different from the first one.
It was a single shot. It was not automatic gunfire.
Single shot, which initially I thought like either it's a large firecracker that someone's doing some sort of prank, right, or this lady was drunk and dropped a glass, something. But I was trying to look because obviously that it scared me. It was extremely loud bang.
And you were there as well. Did you hear the same bang?
No.
You didn't hear it, but
No, her side of the story, it's interesting. All the videos that I've watched, you can see what she's talking about, but my back was towards the area that she was facing, so I didn't see the same thing.
Which I think clearly from the video I shared with you, you can tell though that some people obviously had drinks, some people they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, of course, people are at a concert and they don't know, like a lot of people are intoxicated and that's the perfect place to attack someone because people are not sober, right? And
another
so
thing,
disoriented.
Yeah, exactly. And I honestly thought it was firecrackers or something, but it was extremely loud. And for me, when everything started clicking is when the shooting in the crowd happened. And that maybe was like 40 seconds later, between 20 and 40 seconds later. And that's when I took off running. From the video I showed you, though, obviously half of my friends didn't even notice, and most people were confused. It sounded like firecrackers until people started screaming and running.
And we have that whole video. You know, one of Stephanie's friends who was at the concert filmed it. For now, you know, she wants to remain anonymous, and if she wants to be identified later, we'll identify her. But in the video, you can clearly see before Jason Aldean was even singing the last song, you know, which is when initial reports or the law enforcement account of the shooting says it began. They're saying that during the last song in which Jason Aldean took the stage, that's when the shooting rang out. But you can see people turning around and leaning over to help a woman who was shot. And people are starting to panic, and then after that you hear a couple more single single shots that are very loud. And if you look at the video, you can kind of see flashes coming from the Delano, not the Mandalay, but the Delano, which is next door. And then, like Stephanie said, about 20 to 45 seconds before Jason Aldean began singing the last song, people panic and start running towards the end. People start running out even before the first shots of automatic fire rang out. So they were aware that there was either a shooter inside or another shooter from another angle, or just what clearly sounds and is obviously another weapon, a different weapon. It's not automatic.
They sounded completely
shooting.
different.
It's completely different. So it's either a shooter, the single shooter, Stephen Paddock, using, you know, different weapons, right? Non-automatic and automatic, or multiple shooters, which is, you know, a narrative that law enforcement and the mainstream media is not. What happened after that when you saw the woman fall?
Well, so I saw her fall, and I mean, obviously I didn't know what happened with that. I didn't even remember this until I could finally start talking about, like, I told my family the same story, I told Fox 5 the same story. But anyway, I took off running once I saw the open fire on the crowd, and it started making sense, and people were running and screaming. I took off. I lost all of my friends.
So, the day I made the video on Jesus Campos, so he had interviews lined up with Fox News and other, I don't even know, the other mainstream media sources or whatever, but Fox News did have him scheduled to be on, and he disappeared. David Hickey of the SPFPA, the union that he's employed with, I guess, said he checked into a UMC clinic, and that's the last anyone has heard from him. I think Fox News tried to follow up with the UMC clinic, and they said, oh, we never heard he came in. So, where is Jesus? We gotta find Jesus. Next we have Kimberly Sochimel. Soshimo. Yeah, everyone's butchering that last name. Anyway, let's have a moment of silence for her. She was another person who was very vocal about multiple shooters. She claimed they were running every which direction, changing direction because the gunshots kept getting louder as they kept running farther away from the venue. And then a week later, she turns up dead. They don't know what caused it. They're speculating that her pre-existing condition of epilepsy added on to the trauma of the massacre had somehow made her shut down. What do you think? Here's an interesting one for you. Baxter Dimitri at yournewswire.com writes about the valet driver who parked Paddock's car. He says there was nothing out of the ordinary, no guns, no fertilizer, which the Las Vegas sheriff and all of his plethora of TV spots has said that there was fertilizer in the car, right? As he turned to the FBI guy. Conflicting reports. What about this valet driver? It's so weird. Let's go back to Snopes. Let's see what Snopes says. Snopes has nothing. Wow. Jay Greensburg over at the Neon Nettle. He writes a story about John Beelman, a murder-suicide. 60-year-old man kills his 27-year-old daughter with a shotgun. And this occurs right after the shooting in Las Vegas. Now, they claim that he's linked to Paddock because they found a cell phone charger inside the room, a cell phone charger that did not connect to any of the phones on Paddock, and it was designed, it had technology in it to recharge a specific type of battery, a non-rechargeable battery at that, that is used for communications in the Alphabet Gang. Yeah, it's a really weird story. And it didn't seem to come from Neon Nettle, because let's go Snopes. What does Snopes say? Snopes says it originated from a Sorcha Fall. From what does it mean? Sorcha Fall, from what does it mean? No one in the conspiracy nut house takes this guy credible, apparently. I don't know. But that's another one. I mean, that's one of those cases where it's like, is Neon Nettle the fake news, or is Snopes just the naysayers for the mainstream? It's one of those picks and choose your battle, because that is an elaborate story with supposed evidence that one side says no, there never was. I'd like to close out this video on the Hagman report. As I was looking into the crowdsource the truth on that website, the pscp.tv, I had seen that the Hagman report had a channel. Wasn't the first time I came across these guys. I seen them on YouTube when I was looking up things on CERN. Do you guys know what CERN is? Large Hadron Collider on the border of France and, what was it, Switzerland? Anyway, Doug Hagman, he's the director of Northeast Intelligence Network. He's a surveillance specialist with 20 years experience in the private sector. He's been on Coast to Coast a lot. I didn't even know this when I found them initially. He's talked to George Norrie often on that late night fringe news network. And they have a radio show. Him and his son do this. They got a pretty good going gig. It's really high quality, almost Alex Jones style. And when you get, I mean, they've been around. And when you have the funds like that, people start to question, like, who are you really? What's your end game? These guys interview some people with crazy stories. And I just think you should check them out. Very interesting stuff. If you like what I'm doing, hit that like button. You know, the old thumbs up. Subscribe down there, please. And keep watching. It'll help me out.